Hello everyone, welcome back. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about why the RTR document, the right to release, is worthless, why it's not worth the paper that it's written on. So let me give you the background of this. You know, I like to base these videos on real cases. So just recently, within the last hour, I had a call from a young man. His significant other was Baker acted, and she has been there in this particular facility, which I've litigated against many times. Surprise, surprise, she has health insurance. She has been there for 10 days. 10 days. I don't normally see them go this long without a court order being in place, but she's been there for 10 days, and of course, facility is telling them tomorrow, the next day, and you know what's happening. They just keep moving the goalposts. Meanwhile, he has very little, if any, access to her. Nobody at the facility will talk to him. But today he found out that his significant other signed an RTR, right to release. And I said to him, I don't think it's worth the paper it's written on. He said, what do you mean? I said, look, here's the problem with the Baker Act. Nobody knows that she's there. And he said, what do you mean? I said, this facility is a licensed agent of the state's mental health system, and they report to absolutely no one. Nobody knows that she is there. Now, you know, now I know, and her family know, but when I say nobody knows she's there, I mean nobody is overseeing that this particular facility is doing it right. So the RTR, the right to release, applies when somebody has signed a voluntary admission agreement. Remember, there's two types of Baker Act. Involuntary, that's the one with a 72-hour hold, and voluntary, that's the one with an indefinite hold. And if you sign an RTR, a right to release, the facility has 24 hours to do one of two things: let you go or file a petition for placement. And that starts a 5-day clock, meaning that the facility has to have the hearing within 5 days. So the court's going to set a hearing when the facility files their petition for placement. Sometimes they'll file it knowing they don't intend to keep you because they know it buys them up to another 5 days potentially. But if you sign the request to release and nobody knows you're there, then why on earth would the facility even bother to release you? I mean, nobody knows you're there. So that's what's been going on here, right? At some point, it sounds like she signed a voluntary admission agreement, not realizing what she had signed, certainly not giving informed consent, which is required under the Baker Act statute, and she has signed this RTR, right to release, and she's still sitting there. Why isn't the facility allowed her to leave? Why haven't they either let her leave or filed their petition for placement? Well, it's obviously she's got health insurance, so they're milking it for everything they can. Nobody knows she's there, so who's making sure they do it right? And of course, the kicker is you can't sue them for this because they're an agent of the state, and as an agent of the state, they enjoy immunity. It's right there in the statute. And I was telling this poor young man, because he said, well, can I sue them? And I said, as a general rule, no. I said, they enjoy immunity. Now, God forbid she got hurt, and I had a young lady who was raped in a facility. That's a different story, because they have a duty to keep you safe. But as a general rule, you cannot sue them for this. And I wish that I could, because I get 3 calls a day. I would love to sue these facilities. I'd be retired. But the statute is very clear. You cannot sue them for this. Nobody knows that they're there, and they can pretty much do whatever they want. And when it comes to the RTR, unless this is a facility that actually decides to follow the law, and there are some that do, they're few and far between, but some of them do, it's simply not worth the paper it's written on, because they can take it after you sign it and throw it in the garbage, or just simply ignore it, because nobody is there to enforce your rights, unless, of course, you call us. Now, I'm going to enforce your rights. My team is going to enforce your rights, and I'm going to drag these guys into court and have them explain to a judge why they did this. Now, there's probably a good chance they're not going to want to do that because they know what they did was wrong. They know it was illegal. They know they violated her rights. Chances are they're going to capitulate and let her go. Is it possible they could fight? Yeah, it's possible. I mean, as a lawyer, I'm forbidden by the Florida bar from giving you a guarantee. Most of the time, we don't get to a hearing. But could this facility decide to fight? Yeah, I mean, they definitely could. They've got a financial reason for doing it. But from what I know, it sounds like there's some serious issues here for the facility, and I can't imagine they're going to want to fight, but perhaps they just feel lucky. And anyway, I want to share that with you, the RTR, right to release. With that said, take it easy. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.